Welcome back to the third episode of Explained. Today we are going to explore 3 methods to analyze textiles and fibers. I'm going to give you a short introduction into the topic before exploring textile analysis methods used in labs. We are also going to take a look at how Senorics simplifies textile analysis and how different analysis methods compare to each other. Last year, we conducted a market survey, which has clearly shown that there's a high demand for reliable textile analysis methods. People don't want to solely rely on textile labels anymore. Information provided by suppliers isn't always accurate. So instead, they wish to conduct their own tests. The need for textile analysis is also growing with an increasing amount of textile waste. Identifying fibers and recycling them accordingly is becoming more crucial than ever. We actually talked about this in detail in our last episode of Explained. Take a look. So, to sum it up, our technology allows you to conduct tests quickly, non-destructively, and on the go. But what other ways are there? What methods are used in laboratories around the world? And how does our technology compare to those established methods? This is the questions we are going to ask and answer today. To identify different types of fibers, there is a range of tests that can be performed. These tests include solubility tests, burning tests, staining tests, and microscopic tests. The current methods to analyze fibers are generally carried out in laboratories. Usually, it requires to send the sample to the lab, and unfortunately, often the sample is destroyed during the testing due to the nature of the methods. The process can also take several days, and even though it is very precise, it comes with a great time delay and high costs. Some companies trust in internal laboratories. However, equipping and staffing such facilities also comes at a very high price. Today, we are going to take a closer look at burning and solubility tests. How are they carried out and how do they differ from each other? Let's start with burning tests. So during burning tests, the fiber is identified by noting things like the smell, the color, the shape of the ash, and the speed at which the fibers burn down. As every fiber behaves differently, this is a fairly simple and very reliable way of testing textiles. Did you know cotton fibers, when burned, smell like burning paper? Silk, wool, and viscose, on the other hand, smell more like burnt hair. In general, you could say the fabric is a natural fiber if the ash is soft and it smells like burnt hair or paper. Cellulosic fibers like cotton, linen, and rayon burn rapidly with a yellow flame. When the flame is removed, there is an afterglow and then soft gray ash. Most synthetic fibers burn and melt. They also tend to shrink away from the flame. Synthetics burn with an acrid chemical or vinegary smell, and they leave a plastic bead. Nylon smells slightly sweet when burnt, and polyester smells like vinegar. Let's move on to solubility tests. So there are chemical differences that exist between textile fibers. Solubility tests allow you to distinguish them in a more fundamental way than you would be able to with burning tests. Testing by a solvent is mostly effective when it is used as a technique for eliminating or cross-checking. It is crucial to select suitable solvents when conducting these tests, as the identification of the fiber is based on their solubility in different chemical solutions. So there is no solution that can be used for every fiber. Let's take a look at some examples. So when treating silk and wool with cold concentrated hydrochloric acid, silk fibers dissolve, but wool fibers do not. So you can differentiate them this way. If you were to use sodium hydroxide solution instead, it would annihilate both the silk and the wool samples, as this is known to destroy animal fibers. Cotton is soluble in 70% sulfuric acid solution and cupronium hydroxide. Polyester, on the other hand, a soluble in heated mecacrosol solution and heated orthochlorophenol solution. So as you can see, every fiber needs a different solution to be tested with. Again, there is not one solution that can be used on all fibers. Let's take a look at Senorics way. Our handheld device, the Senocoder, enables you to analyze samples wherever you are, which means you don't have to send the samples into the lab. The technology behind the device is material sensing, a technology that is based on NIR spectroscopy and chemometrics. If you want to learn a bit more about this, take a look at our blog. Material sensing turns 2 decades-old laboratory testing methods into a solution that fits into the palm of your hand. The samples that you measure are not destroyed during the analysis, and you receive the results instantly. The Senocoder enables you to identify materials, for example, whether a fabric is made from cotton, polyester, silk, or wool. And it also allows you to quantify the material composition, telling you the amount of a certain fiber present in your sample. So for example, it might tell you that your sample is made of 22% cotton and 78% polyester. The handheld device simply needs to be placed on the textile that you want to measure, and then the analysis starts at the touch of a button. Now that we have looked at laboratory analysis methods as well as our material sensing technology, it is time to conclude. What are the advantages and disadvantages of each testing method? Will they all stand the test of time, or do certain methods outshine others? To answer these questions, all the methods described have their place in the world of textile analysis, and they are useful depending on the area of application. So for example, tests conducted in laboratories, such as burning and solubility tests, have the advantage of being very accurate. There is a reason that they take several days, and for certain situations where a very high accuracy is needed and there isn't any time pressure, these kinds of tests will remain a great choice. However, in many other situations, where all you need is a reliable result that you can access instantly, mobile textile analysis is becoming more and more desirable to the industry. It saves money, time, and resources. It can be used to pre-sort textiles to decide which samples might need in-depth testing in the laboratory, or it could be used to avoid laboratory testing altogether. I will leave you with these questions today. What do you use textile analysis for? And have you ever considered switching to an easier solution? You can contact us via the details shown on the screen. Get in touch if you have any questions, and make sure to subscribe to our channel so that you get a notification when we upload our next video. Follow us on LinkedIn to stay up to date about anything happening in the company. I will see you next time for the next episode of Explained. Have a good day.